Sorry about the delay. Had to feed the animals inside and out, and I had a little computer problems. I still am, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I got a little bit nostalgic about all that stuff. I left off talking about what a particular group of seeds chance of winning the title. Uh, you know, left off at 13 to 16, usually having zero. We'll give them 5%. 9 through 12, we'll give them about 20. 5 through 8, we'll give 30, and we have 45 for the top four seeds. But still, the theme here is lack of disparity between the so-called 1 seeds and 16 seeds. Could happen this year. 16 could do it. Probably won't with the Louisville team that knows they can turn it on whenever they want. I'm going to take Missouri over Colorado State. The 12-5 upset would be Oregon beating Oklahoma State. New Mexico State will upset St. Louis, too high of a seed. They may have their nose up in the air, overlook this team. St. Mary's can and will beat Memphis. I'm going to take the Fighting Izzos over Valparaiso in their twilight years. Give me Creighton over Cincinnati. That hoop shrinks up on Cincinnati too long in the games. I'll take Duke over Albany. Wouldn't be surprised to see it the other way. Wouldn't even be mad about it. Now, in the West, we have Gonzaga versus Southern. They'll play 1 seed basketball. Just outplay a 16 seed. Wichita State versus Pittsburgh, a clash of regions, the Midwest versus the East Coast. I'm gonna take Pittsburgh on that to bully them. Wisconsin versus Mississippi. Woo, 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 woo. 2 wild teams. You don't know who's going to happen. So I will take Wisconsin. Seeing them, I've seen them play consistent basketball in a better, conference. LaSalle comes in from the play-in round to play Kansas State. I'm going to take Kansas State. I'm about like 6-4 on that one. Arizona versus Belmont. I love Belmont. Don't know why. Maybe because the Castlevania game I play has the family called Belmont. I'll take them. New Mexico versus Harvard. I have to dust off the calculators for that one. Give me New Mexico. Notre Dame and Iowa State. Iowa State, we talked about them on the Big 12 side, but they are a team. Oh crap! You couldn't see from Kansas versus LaSalle. All right, sorry about that. Arizona at Belmont. The check's by Belmont. New Mexico versus Harvard. Give me New Mexico. Notre Dame versus Iowa State. Now, we talked about Iowa State on the Big 12 side a couple weeks back. They were top 20 in a lot of statistical categories. So, I would take them. A lot of shooters. Fred Hoiberg, great coach. They can beat a Notre Dame team, especially with something for it, because they were always at that bottom with Oklahoma and Baylor as to in or out. Baylor's out. And, I can't really say as I blame them to have a 7-footer, a true 7-footer, and not get there. That's kind of weird. Down here at the bottom, Ohio State over Iona. Ohio State, love Thad Matta. Don't really like the school that much, but love Thad Matta. He's another great coach. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Now, again, you see the checks by the teams. We're not altering these. I've said it, so there will be no way to unsay it. You know what I'm saying? And we'll leave this up here until the championship game. I guess I could write them in, right? I should write them in? No, that's all right. Because we're going to go ahead and do the other side now, and then tomorrow we'll finish the whole bracket up. Now, I'm not going to do them. That means I am going to write them down. Give me just a minute here. We'll take Louisville. I'm going to take Mizzou, Oregon, New Mexico State. We'll take St. Mary's. Take Michigan State. Take Creighton. And then Duke, Gonzaga. I'm going to take Pitt. I'm going to take Wisconsin. Take Kansas State. That's going to be a great game if it happens. Take Belmont. New Mexico. Mexico State, the land of enchantment, is the land of basketball. Iowa State here. And Ohio State in the State College Bowl. So, that is there. There's no way to unsay them, right? I'm going to slide down here and hopefully not mess anything up. Again, sorry about that. You know, I have no cool cameras or $50,000 cars. Wish I did though. Gonna get in here and get into this side of the bracket. Now, we start with Kansas versus Western Kentucky. I've seen Kansas. I know what they can and can't do. UNC versus Villanova. I'm going to take North Carolina on here because Villanova can sputter offensively, but North Carolina is a bit gracious, thinking they may not have even made it and barely getting in. They might play their best basketball now. That's not Smith's way, of course, you know, but I think they're maybe one of the most fortunate teams to get in, so they may play a bit above where they're supposed to, their seed is, and make some noise here, maybe even beat Kansas, but we'll get to that later. Virginia Commonwealth versus Akron. I want to take Akron just because. Michigan versus South Dakota State. We'll take Michigan, but I've seen them. They've looked bad this year too, and so have UCLA and Minnesota. But who of them is going to show up? Give me the Fighting Tubby Smiths, just for Tulsa's sake. Florida versus Northwestern Louisiana. Too long of a name to be an issue. We'll take Florida. Here we are. Here we are. San Diego State and Oklahoma. Here we are. Here we are. What to do, what to do, what to do. Pacific is the last school out. Alright. Here we are. You know I'm taking Oklahoma. But I've sat here and talked about 20 other teams that have bad offensive spurts. And Oklahoma's may be the worst. There was a 4 or 5 game stretch back towards the end of the season where they played absolutely lights out basketball. Defensively leading to offensively. They scored on turnovers. They rebounded. Oklahoma played some of the best ball in the country then. They lost to Texas, though, and, you know, that was about it. From then on, it got back to Oklahoma's old ways. And a lot of teams found ways to beat Oklahoma, whether it was to trap them full court or to deny Romero Osby. And you can stymie Oklahoma extremely easily. God bless them. But they're the Jekyll and Hyde-iest of all those Jekyll and Hyde teams. And though I don't know anything about San Diego State, one, they're ranked higher, and two, I know enough about Oklahoma to make that, I don't know pick. But taking the heart, taking the stick up at the top of the board. Georgetown versus Florida Gulf Coast. Give me Georgetown. We'll see, though. Indiana and James Madison. Indiana, not without their faults. We really don't know. We're going to take Indiana. North Carolina State over Temple, another gracious team. That whole state of North Carolina should be fortunate to be in because they could easily be out, and they're going to be as fortunate and take it out on Temple, who you just don't have much hope for them, even though they're a higher seed than in the years past. NLV versus California. I'll take the running Rebels off of Lon Kruger's sake. And, the interesting thing is those 5 teams that Lon Kruger coached to the national to the national tournament, invited to the tournament, are in Illinois, NLV, Kansas State, Oklahoma, and with all, the 5th one would get past me. UNLV, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Illinois. Y'all write the 5th one down there. I knew what it was. As a matter of fact, I've got it on my phone. I'm not going to even deny myself that. I'm not going to give you all that one. It's Pepperdine, you idiot. I've got it right here as a memo on my phone. I had it written on the wall, but it's out. Let's see here. Florida. I didn't think it was that good of a school, but yeah, Florida. All right, there. I think I may have picked them all. But NLV over California. Syracuse and Montana. I take Syracuse now. I could regret it later. They're a very, off-kilter team. But like a few of those teams I'm talking about, and it kind of seemed like I'm classifying them just for time's sake or that because I don't know too much about them. Syracuse and a few others, when they're on, they are at times the best team in the country. Duke, Duke when they're on, they look great. Florida when they were on, they look great, and of course the number 1 overall seed, Louisville. I'm not just saying they could be good or bad, like I'm saying, because I don't know about them, and it's partly that, but a few of them are good enough to be the best team in the country. It's just this year we never saw it for an extended period of time from any, and it varied from team to team, from game to game, from week to week, from month to month. So it's going to be interesting to see who does it now. It could be Bucknell. Why not? We're going to play Butler. Now, we know Butler. They've got some tournament success. They always seem to be that 6th seed around there. Maybe started out as 11th, beating the 6th, and now they're the 6th. Can they, do that? They were the 11th seed in years past, or somewhere around there. They got to fight a 6, and they did that. Can they, be that guy now? Can they be the 6 and hold off an 11? Don't know too much about Bucknell, so I say, why not? Give me Butler. Marquette at Davidson. Marquette in at 3 seed. I mean, a decent team enough, and in the conference for basketball in the Big East. And by the way, a moment of silence for the Big East. One of the purest basketball conference going. I always love conference tournament time because there's a double bye in the Big East tournament. 16 teams, they get a double bye, the first 4 teams. 5 through 8 get a single bye, and then the other 8 play out just to get spread into 5 to 8. And they play just to get spread out into 1 to 4. Absolutely fabulous. It was incredible. It's going to be sad to see that go, especially now with so many teams barely having a tournament. Oklahoma's was kind of cool. Big 12's was kind of cool. So I'm taking Davidson because I've liked them before. They're going to let me down, but it's going to be 72-59 Marquette, but Davidson to win 63-62. Illinois at Colorado. Illinois handled Indiana, but how good could they be? Uh, played in the Big East, so they got credit for that. Versus the Colorado team, I'm not knowing why, but I'm going to take Illinois. And Miami, again, that team that could be the best going over Pacific. These are written in, not really clearly written because of the lines on the wall, but I said them, so you can't unsay them. And you notice the colors, you can kind of see the letters, Butler, Miami was one up here at the top, Indiana. If you've known me since elementary school, my penmanship is subpar. So we'll finish in these other games tomorrow, and I will pick a champion, and we're going to score it. All right? So it'll be a lot of fun, and I hope you all have as much fun with this too. See you on YouTube.